ain't mad cause I'm chillin'. I'm about to go outside and make a killin'. For real, they ain't mad cause I'm dope.
What up, people? What's going on with you? What's popping and all that good, solid stuff? I don't even know what that means. I'm just saying stuff, man, because it's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I need to get back on my game. But welcome to another episode of Chillin' with Ones. I am your host, Jay Ones, and I'm chilling with
Crump Casso.
And we back again, man. How you been?
Been good, man.
I mean,
you?
I've been good. I mean, we've been seeing each other, but we haven't like shot a show in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
You know?
I feel a little rusty, guys.
Right.
Shake the dust off, man.
Got an album coming too, you know. TBD.
TBD,
you know.
Just wait on it.
You want to tell them what it's called? Do they need to know yet? Do they need to know?
Yeah.
All right, we gonna keep it for now.
Just wait on it.
We gonna keep it quiet, but we need to hurry up and get into this because we got a lot to go through. We did this last year. We looked at the Rolling Stone 25 hip hop albums of 2021.
Yeah, last year.
And now we're doing 2022, and it took a lot of work and it took a lot of time, but we back at it again for the people. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. First of all, which was better? How, you know, as far as the overall list, which do you think is better?
It's funny you said that. I was just about to mention that. I really feel like this year, or 2022, overall was better than 2021. And I think I somewhat mentioned it to you the other day about how I feel like as I was like scoring and grading and critiquing these albums, I feel like I was getting overall on an average higher scores this year than I did last year. And I'm thinking, am I just nicer this year? Am I tripping? But then after I got through, when I finally finished the last one, and just kind of went through all of them, just kind of like you know cycling through them, I realized I feel like this list was a lot better than the one. I feel like the last year kind of had some garbage in it. And I feel like this one was a little more up to par a little bit. So I don't think, I mean, it might be a little bit, might be me being nicer, but I do feel like this list overall just didn't really have a lot of garbage in me. I feel like it was a lot better for me.
I'm gonna agree. I didn't give out any F's this time. I gave out what? I think I gave one F last year. Just one. Okay. But I do feel like overall this list was better. So let's go for it. So we're going to do the same thing pretty much we did last year. We're going to go through every album, talk about how we felt about it, and grade it. Yeah. And you want to do timers? Or no, this time around? I got it up just in case.
I mean, the timer might help us stay, or we just try to make sure we don't go over.
You know? All right, no timers this year. We're just going to try to keep ourselves in line.
This is hard, man. Grading is hard.
And depending on the album, we might, need more time anyway.
Yeah. So,
all right. We want to start it off. We want to kick it off because number 25 is Drake and 21 Savage, Her Loss.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. Right. Before I can start, I just want to say again, I just thought this list was really hard to grade. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, well, I mean, it really goes for every list, regardless of what the list is, because it's so opinionated. Like, even Rolling Stone, this is their opinion. So, I feel like it was tough because this list, like I said, is already better than last year's. And there were several artists on here, or several albums on here, where I'm just like, this ain't really my type of, like, hip-hop or my style, whatever. But is it fair for me to be like, F?
Yes.
I knew you was going to say that.
What you get?
I knew you was going to say that. I'm like, that's not really fair because, if there's a country album, it's not fair for me to say F because I don't really rock a country. Like,
we wouldn't be looking at no country list.
True. But anyway, we can hop right into it, yeah.
Hey, before we go into it, do you feel like it should be this low on the list?
I'm glad you brought that up too. So we had the same conversation last year. I don't feel like these are in order. I don't.
They are, man. They are.
But I will say though, this year it does seem closer to the order than it did last year. Cause I noticed a lot of the ones in like 1 through 5 were like some like better albums. I think are the good albums, and I'm like, yeah, it might be in order, but I want to believe that Rolling Stone wouldn't. I want to believe these aren't in order. If they are in order, no, I think this should be higher on or lower.
If you go by what is at the top, they definitely in order.
It just kind of feel that way. I noticed the lower the list went for me, they more for the most part, on average, the grades got better for me.
Right.
Not all of them, because there was not all of them, but on average, I had better grades towards the bottom.
Okay.
So again, I don't think these are in order, but if they are in order, no, I feel like this should be a little lower on the list.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
This is one of them albums that I went back and listened to again. I liked it more the first time. Then when I listened to it again, I kind of saw more of the flaws. So, yes, it should be a tad bit higher because some of the other stuff that's on this list, but it shouldn't be like no top 10 or nothing like that.
I agree.
For sure.
So I'll hop right into it. I actually didn't really care for this album, despite what a lot of people, I know a lot of people liked it. I feel like it was very kind of regular to me. It felt very, I don't want to say safe, but it felt like it didn't feel like there was a lot of effort put into it, in my opinion. I also didn't like the fact that it felt like a Drake featuring 21 album, in my opinion. I feel like it should have been a lot more 21, and he ain't got to lead the whole album, but I feel like at least 5, how many songs are on the album? I don't know, maybe 12, 14 or something like that, maybe roughly. But I feel like it should have been...
That's it? It's that short?
It might have been more, I don't remember, but I can look it up really quick. But the point is, I feel like 21 should have at least been kind of like leading at least 6 of the songs, and I don't feel like he was, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, he didn't lead a lot. He was, they didn't really come together for real. 16 songs.
16 songs. Yeah, I feel like he should at least had at least 6 or 7 songs. I feel like he should kind of like.
But I kind of feel like that's a good thing.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I kind of wish he had taken. I wish we had more songs that sound like, oh, this is a 21 Savage song right here, featuring Drake. But I feel like the whole album sounded like it was Drake featuring 21, and I don't know if I felt about that. The only song, I mean. There are a few songs I kind of like, but that's only because, and not throwing shade on them or nothing, but
too late.
Hey, TikTok or whatever and social media. So because I heard them so many times, they grew on me over time. Like, oh, that's a funny song, or that's one we made fun of.
21.
Yeah, like stuff like that. And
still don't really like that song. Like that.
Exactly. And there's another song too on there that kind of like, but again, because I heard it so much on like social media or like YouTube or whatever. But the only one even somewhat kind of stood out to me was Middle of the Ocean. That was, I think it was just Drake by himself, and that's when he's kind of going on his whole lyrical type of vibe. But overall, it was kind of regular to me.
All right,
so it wasn't bad.
We're gonna do grades at the end.
Okay,
like at the end of us talking about the album. All right, so Drake carried. I feel like if every time 21 showed up, for the most part, the song went downhill. And that might have been partly because he wasn't meant to be on those songs.
Yeah.
That's might have been part of the issue, because I do agree with you. I feel like this could have been like, I feel like he could have took a lot of these songs, took off 21's part, and then pulled back that Loverboy album and kind of like mixed and mashed and made a better album.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I do like, I think my favorite song is Jumbotron and P in Millions or whatever. Those are my joints, but those are like Drake-ish songs or whatnot. And that's pretty much how I feel about it. I do feel like it has some dope parts here and there. When I first listened to it, I was kind of like, I'm a big Drake fan, so stuff that he was going in on, pause, I was like, oh, that's fine, but then when I really look back, I was like, this is kind of a messy album. Like, it's kind of all over the place. It got parts here that I like, got parts there that I like, but collaboratively and as a whole, is it like, put together super well? Does it really seem like they both came together for real, made like a good project? Nah. Yeah. It ain't gonna be like ours, whatever. But what grade did you give it?
I gave it a C+.
C-.
Right.
Around the same area.
Yeah, but I can tell just by that. Your score is about to be.
You being nice.
Yeah, I'm being nice.
C+.
Yeah, I'm being nice.
It's almost a B.
Yeah. I originally had it a regular C at first, and I was like, it could be a plus. And that's another issue too I had with this list, is as I went through the list, you start comparing the other albums to other ones. They're like, that shouldn't be as high as this one. So let me lower this one. Let me make this one higher or whatever. Because this was originally just a regular C for me. And I was like, compared to other ones, I'm like, okay, C+.
I try not to do that. Because I try to be like, okay, just because I don't like this person as much, or this, I try to go off of, okay, which album, like, I'm grading off how much I enjoyed it.
Right, how much I felt at the time.
Yeah, how much I enjoyed it at the time. So that means that's not necessarily has anything to do with this album, because a lot of people, oh, you gave this, and you gave this, that. Like, they not to be compared necessarily. Yeah. So I try not to do that, but I did find myself kind of doing that too. Like, well, I gave that, like, or whatever. But let's move on. Let's move on. I'm already spending too much time
on one album.
Right. All right, 24. IDK, Simple. I guess I'll kick this one off. Okay. I thought it was a fun album. I thought it flowed well. It didn't overstay its welcome. it got jiggy, the dancing, you know, I like the rap and the singing mixture. Man, I thought I put a song specifically that I like, but I didn't. But I think I didn't put it down because I think I just liked the whole album or whatever. Maybe I forgot, but I like this album just overall. I thought it was good. A good solid album. It was an enjoyable listen. I just put it on and just hey. You know, it kind of was a shocker because I didn't really expect it to sound like it sounded.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. I thought it was gonna be kind of more the rapidy rap kind of or whatever. Because I'm not super familiar with IDK. I've heard about him here and there, but I'm not super familiar with him.
Yeah.
What you think?
Did not think you were gonna say that. You surprised me with that. Very surprised. I actually felt the same way.
Okay.
I've never heard of IDK before. So I'm just looking at the cover art. I was like, "Oh, this is what it's gonna be." One of them conscious kind of rap hip hop album.
Right.
I was totally thrown off guard with that. Like you said, similar. Like kind of had a uppity energy, kind of poppy. I wouldn't say pop, more like experimental sort of vibes to it. Overall, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good album. It's not the type of music that I would normally listen to. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's not fair for me to say F because I don't really rock with this kind of music.
Yeah,
but
do it.
I actually did like it. I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't know if I would come back to it much because it's not really the type of music I would normally listen to. But I liked it. It was fun, kind of experimental. I did write down the code because I thought it was one of the better ones. And Taco. I like the rapping on that one. Taco's one of the few ones I remember that he actually kind of started going like rapping on, even though it still kind of had that kind of vibe, dancey vibe, but he kind of went on with the rapping a little bit. So I was like, okay, this kind of mix between rapping and this party vibe, whatever you got going on. But I liked it. I thought it was a solid album. Okay. Overall, I gave it a B-. I liked it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, we right there. Yeah, close enough. Close enough. All right. Next up, 23, Rome Streets, Kiss the Ring.
Rome Street, Kiss the Ring. Okay.
All right.
I hopped right into it. This one, I wasn't really feeling too much. It definitely had the New York, just lyrical conscious type of, I don't want to say boom bap, but kind of style to it. It was.
You would call that conscious? I don't know if that was conscious.
Yeah, I went to conscious. Maybe just, I don't know, boom bap maybe. But, I mean, it was cool. It was a solid album. I just wasn't really feeling it much. But it was a solid album. That's really, I read on Kiss the Ring. I think of all the songs, that was probably like my favorite. But, yeah, it was cool.
I won't be back. We're gonna start getting into these type of rappers, and Griselda. He sounds like he belongs with them.
Yeah.
Simple beats, solid rap, but it comes off boring to me. It's not nothing super like engaging for me. Like 5 songs in, I kind of knew what it was gonna be. But I respect it. It's not like he's whack. I mean, obviously he knows how to rap and put words together, so to speak. But it didn't get the people going. It's not provocative. You know what I'm saying? I do like the clips that they had in between the songs, though. I'm a sucker for like those like samples and clips that come in between songs that people use and all that. But this isn't my style of rapping music. It's just kind of boring for me, and it's just like, okay, I get it, whatever.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And for that reason, I just gave it a C. I was like, it's very basic for me. I just gave it a C. Yeah.
C.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward. See, we running through these. We ain't playing. Flo Milli. You still here, ho? All right. I'm gonna kick this one off because I was already feeling some type of way because Flo Milli. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be the ratchets come. It's what it's gonna be. So when the first song was on, I was already like here we go. Yeah. But then Bedtime came on or whatever. I think that was like the next song or whatever. Like I feel like overall, this job was kind of light.
Huh.
This job was kind of
You surprised today.
this job was kind of alright. Hold on, let me get into these other stuff. And Then Hottie and Conceited. It was raunchy, of course, but it was catchy. Yeah. She switched the flow, decent rapping, but I like the beat.
Yeah.
You know, PBC, this is the songs I was expecting. Yeah, this is the songs I was expecting for the album. So I wasn't really caring, but, you know, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is what I'm expecting to hear. But the Pretty Girls, the hook pulled me in.
Yeah.
No Face, didn't want to like it, but the beat and flow got me. Once I got the Big Stepper, I didn't like anything else. But I had a lot to say about this. I was actually shocked. Like, she wasn't, you know, she not a bad rapper. I knew it was going to be the raunchiness and the nastiness, but actually it was kind of, you know, this wasn't bad. Like, I'm not going to be running back to it necessarily, but I'm not really mad at this one. Flo Milli, hey, respect. Respect.
I'm surprised you full of surprises today, man.
Hey, hey, I gotta keep it real, hey.
Yeah.
What you got?
I felt the same way. I like this album a lot. I thought it was a really good album. Beat selection was superb to me. Like, all the beats were like dope. And I told you before that I actually checked this album out before we even got to the list because I just felt like her name kept popping up to me, and I was like, let me go check her out. Let me go see what she's talking about. So, yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I kind of already thought familiar to me, in my opinion, she kind of fall in that Rico nasty kind of lane. Mm-hmm. So I actually wasn't expecting ratchetness. I was expecting it to be kind of somewhat lyrical, maybe a little crazy or whatever, and that's pretty much what I got.
Yeah.
It was dope. I love Conceited. Feeling myself and Conceited. Like, Big Step I thought was dope. What else? I like FNGM. A lot of songs I thought were dope. Really good beat selection. Her flow is different. She don't really sound like the average female out here right now.
I feel like you about to give her something crazy.
A++++++++.
You lying. It ain't that good.
Yeah, but no, I really liked it. I thought it was a really good album. Her raunchiness, although she does have raunchiness at times, it's not like blatant and in your face. It ain't like that's all she's talking about. Like some of the other female rappers are out right now. I liked it.
My girl didn't like it though.
Yeah.
She was with me on some of these lists and she didn't like it. Yeah. It was still too raunchy for her.
Yeah, I liked it.
What you give it?
I give it a B.
C+.
Okay. That's close.
See, I couldn't go that far.
Yeah,
B.
I like it. Yeah.
Alright, let's move on. Alright. So we get into I was starting to struggle around this time. Like, so 21. Billy Woods. How you even say that?
I think it's funny. I was gonna say the same thing. Is it Anthiopes? I think it's Anthiopes.
Ethiopes.
Athiops. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's Athiops.
Okay. So this one just off the gate, I felt like it had a bad first impression with me on Asylum. It's not for me. It's not my style of rap, man. Yeah. It's too free form. The beats kind of seem unfinished. Yeah. Like this just. The lyrics aren't interesting enough to hold up the fact that the beats seem unfinished. You know, it's that same, like, it's Rome Streets, but even more pulled back.
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny, I said the same thing, but go ahead.
Yeah. Spoken word type rap.
Yeah.
You know, I get, like, Remorseless. I'll get, you know, if I had to pick a song, Remorseless. But this ain't for me, and I'm like, is this like the year of like this type of rap?
Right, there's a lot of that.
Go ahead.
I felt the same exact way, and it's funny you said the thing about Rome Streets because I said the same thing. I felt like this is Rome Streets, but boringer. I know it sounds I know it sounds like messed up. I'm not trying to throw shade, but that's kind of how I felt about it. Like, I felt like Rome Streets was a little bit more, but even this one was basically the same thing. He had
a few more drums in the beat. He was more on beat.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
there's no defined hooks with this style. I feel like a lot of hooks kind of go like unnoticed, in my opinion. Pretty much the same exact thing you said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt the same exact way about it. Overall, I gave it a C-.
D.
I'm not gonna lie, I was close to D. I was really close to D, but I was like, because it's still like he's not bad. It's just his style is just not it for me. That's the only thing that got him to the C range for me. Otherwise, it's gonna be a D for me too. And I was like, but it's not bad. It's just I can't do it.
We gonna go further into it. I'm gonna kick off this next one too because I want to ask you a question.
All right.
Because we hear it. What's that? Elucid.
Yeah.
I told Bessie this is coming in at number 20, and I don't think I feel like both of these are too high. You could have put these at like 25 and 24, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
You know, but I don't really have too many notes on his. It's more of a conversation I want to have with you because, like, I feel like he was Billy Woods all over again. He's even on a few of the songs.
Yeah.
So, because they both got that style, I guess they both understand. Like, I get it. I've heard that style before, but it's definitely, like I said, it's not for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this music is for.
Before we get into conversation, let me go and say my notes really quick.
All right, go ahead.
I don't have much. Pretty much the same thing you already said. That's it. Pretty much my notes is I don't have much. I thought it was the same way. Like you said, Billy Woods. To me, it's Billy Woods all over again. And like you said, I was gonna call it out that he was on a few of the songs. Mm-hmm. It felt like an extension of Billy Woods' album to me. I literally felt these albums were the same. Like I not one was better than the other. It was like exactly the same to me. That's pretty much all I had to say. So what's
who is this music for? Obviously, it's a fan base, but like when it comes down to performing it, it's definitely not for the radio. Like, who is this for?
I don't know. And I was wondering the same thing. So I'm thinking it might be a little bit of maybe older people who were down with the Wu-Tang and stuff like that. You know, let's not get twisted. I like Wu-Tang.
Disrespect?
Wu-Tang.
Disrespect?
I think I'll say that. Wu-Tang beat selection is way different. Their style is different, but it's still like that more New York or Northern kind of style. And maybe I was going to say, speaking of Northern, I was going to say maybe more of a Northern audience. Maybe they like that more up there than they do down south. But to your point, I don't really know who's rocking with this kind of music like that. And it's not no disrespect to the artists. I think they're both good, Billy Woods and
good Alyssa, at what though?
At rapping. But
are they though?
I think
because you really like in the past, and I know you're a real stickler on this about people rapping on beat, and they don't really. Like, I get what they do. I understand that style, but it's not really on beat. It's just like free form poetry, like over a beat that kind of don't have a beat.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Why aren't you like knocking them like you would knock my boy Babytron?
Babytron's way worse when it comes to being on beat.
How? At least he got a better beat. At least he got a real beat.
But it's worse as far as being on beat. You know what
that's for? He can perform that.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I don't really feel they're not as offbeat. I will agree that they're not like in the pocket like the way I want them to. But I don't think they're as offbeat as Babytron is.
There's no cadence at all.
Look, I already established that this is not my thing. You argue with the wrong person here.
Bruh, okay, well let me ask you this. Okay. So I come to you, right? And I'm like, yo, my boy rap. And I play you the first song off this I Told Bessie. How you gonna feel about it?
I would agree.
You don't know this person.
Yeah.
You just hearing, you know, somebody, or let's say somebody, it ain't even, I don't want it to be connected to me. Somebody give you a album off the street and you pop it in, you know, whatever. Oh yeah, listen to my joint. What you gonna say?
I was gonna say what I'm saying right now.
You wouldn't say it was whack? Like, I feel like since we know these people have a following, we know they're on the list, so obviously it's something going on with them. So you don't want to just be like, they're trash, because obviously they're doing something. You don't want to be like you hating. But at the same time, I feel like if they didn't have no type of notoriety, and if somebody that you just met off the street, and you ain't even really know about this type of music, and they just gave this to you, you might say this junk is whack.
I wouldn't. Again, I would say they can rap. But as far as it goes for me, that's not my style. Like, it reminds me of like Action Bronson. I don't think Action Bronson is whack, but I feel like his style is very similar to this. That's why I don't really rock his music like that.
That's almost disrespect too.
Hey, call what you want. I don't rock with him like that either.
Bronson rap on beat, and he sound like Ghostface.
So because he sound like Ghostface, he get a pass?
Yes.
The point I'm trying to
make
is
the voice, though, not necessarily the flow.
The point I'm trying to make is if someone did come off the street and hand me a mixtape and it sounded like this, I'll be, he can rap, but I'm not. This is not my vibe. I can't get down with this kind of music. It's like I said, it's kind of somewhat to me boring. There's no distinct hooks. A lot of times I'm listening to the song, I'm waiting for the hook. I don't know if it came or not, beyond it. I think some of these songs didn't have hooks. I think a lot of these songs didn't even have hooks.
No, they didn't.
I think they just rap straight through it. And if there was a hook, I didn't catch it. Like, I can't really get down with this type of, this ain't me.
Can't get jiggy with it.
I can't get jiggy with it at all.
What grade you give
Another
it?
C minus. Because to me, like I said, it was the same exact as the last one to me.
Yeah, I gave it a D.
D.
Right? I gave it a D too, man. It's the same thing, man. Yeah. I don't really, like I said, I know this is for somebody, but I don't know who this is for. What are you doing when you're listening to this? Like, what mood are you in to listen to this? I don't know who it's for. I just know it's for somebody. Obviously, they're on the list.
Yeah.
But it's not for us.
Rolling Stone liked it.
Right. Alright, let's move on, man. Alright, 19. Quavo and Takeoff.
Just wait on it.
Only built for Infinity Links. You want to kick it off?
Right. Yeah, I will.
Kick it off.
Feel good hearing Takeoff again. Overall,
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. This is another album I heard way before, like months ago, way before the list. So I give it a second listen again just to kind of have it fresh in my brain. And I still feel the same way I did about it back then. I feel like it was I don't say safe, but kind of a basic album. Same way I felt about Her Loss with Drake and 21. I thought it was very kind of basic to me. None of the songs really like jumped out. Like I didn't hear any song where like, oh, this the one. Like, oh, this fire. I can't wait to hear this in the club or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's Migos, so of course I'm still gonna like it. I mean, I always like Migos. I'm a fan. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I like Migos.
Okay.
I'm a fan. So overall, I thought it was cool. It was straight. Hotel Lobby is one of the songs I kind of like, but that could be like the radio syndrome. I've heard it so many times that kind of grew on me. Mm-hmm. I did like Us versus Them on first listen.
One? Let's get it.
Yeah. So I think when I first time I heard that, I was like, oh, it's cool. But then after I heard it so many more times, now I like it.
Okay.
I did like Us versus Them with Gucci. I like that in the first listen. I did like that song a lot. But the rest of the album to me was just like kind of forgettable to me. It's Migos, so you throw it on in the car. I'm vibing to it. It's Migos, but none of the songs really made me want to come back as give it another listen. It was cool.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to say too much. R.I.P.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too hard, but I mean, it's a Migos album. I kind of like See About It, kind of like that, and I wish they did more with the Only Built For, like, cause that's a Raekwon album, because it was, and I feel like the only connection they make is the fact that it's a duo, cause Raekwon Ghostface was with him, so it's them two. So I think that's the only connection they really made. I feel like, but that's not, unfortunately, that's not really them to be that in depth. Like I feel like that's kind of as far as it went. But I wish they would have went a little further with what does that mean that you're calling it that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I do feel like it was bloated. It didn't need to be that long.
No.
Do you understand this line? And then I'm going to leave it alone. Should I even say the line?
Maybe, because I don't know what it's going to be.
No, I'm not Bruce Wayne, but I keep the fire like a dragon.
I do not understand that line. What song was that in?
Nothing Changed.
I don't remember that line.
I don't even remember who said that.
No,
it could have been Takeoff. I don't remember who actually said that.
I don't get that at all.
But that line stood out to me, and I was like, are y'all talking about... Only thing I can think of is fire comes out the Batmobile.
Maybe, yeah.
But I still feel like that's kind of a reach.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh, so I don't like that they tried to flip that Outkast sample. But I didn't like that. I didn't let that take away from the album.
I had a few issues with the samples, like because they did I think they did a few of them.
Oh.
And it was just like I said, they don't go nowhere with it. It's just the same thing as the title. It's like, okay, we got the sample because we know y'all love that song, and then we just whatever, did our regular thing on it or whatever.
That's Migos though. Yeah.
I gave it a C.
I got a C plus.
Close enough.
One of these we're gonna be on. We're gonna be here. One of them.
I know you giving everybody. Dang.
Too nice.
Yes. Okay. 18. Smino. Love for Rent. What you got?
I thought it was a pretty cool album. I mean, I've never actually heard a Smino album before. This is my first time.
Me neither.
I've heard him on other people's songs. I always thought he had like a pretty cool, distinct like voice and style. And I feel like this album definitely reflected that. This album was different. Overall, I liked it. It had really good production. I like that. I'm trying to think. I wrote down one of these songs. I can't even read my own handwriting.
I feel like I spelled something wrong.
Hold on. I got a screenshot of it somewhere.
Come on, man.
I can't even read it.
Together. Get in dead space. What song was it?
I can't read it, but it's one with Lucky Day on the chorus.
Okay.
Made in a Minute or something like that. I can't read my own handwriting.
Oh, yeah. I got that one too.
Yeah.
I think it went in wrong on mine. Made in a Minute.
I think I wrote that down wrong.
I was like, I'm not sure that's the song.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
I think that's my favorite from the overall
I
the
do
album.
like that one.
Yeah. But I kind of wish there was a little bit more variety. I felt like that whole album kind of had a similar vibe, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it was I thought it was a pretty solid album. I like that it was different. I like that his style and his flow is unique, and I liked it overall. Okay.
I really like this album. He has a fan. He has a new fan because I hadn't listened to Smino before either. I like what he's doing, and he it might have been a good thing because I feel like he was a breath of fresh air after Billy and them and the Migos. So his placement could have helped him. When I go back in, it might, things might change. But can't deny, like, I feel like it's a mixture kind of Kendrick Lamar and Outkast. I like his artistry, his melodies, his instrumentals, his flows, the raps, the singing, the creativity. I like Made in a Minute too. Maybe a little bit too much Kendrick though. Maybe a little bit too much. I was just like,
I can see that.
I feel like that's kind of what held him back from getting the A for me, because it was just like it might have been a little bit too derivative for me. Like it was just like it's a little bit too much. I can't, whatever. Yeah. But I really liked the album. I really liked it a lot. I gave it B+. What'd you give it?
Give it a B-.
They gotta get close enough. I don't know if we gonna do one the same this time.
I don't know.
Let's move on. All right, 17. Saba. Few good things. What you got?
This album was cool. I kind of hate that it followed the heels of Smino because I feel like not that they sound the same, but it kind of had a remind me of Smino's album in the sense that it was different. It was kind of unique. I like that it was that vibe was kind of chill, kind of vibey. Overall, I like that. I don't have too much to say about it. I think Come My Way, Crazy Bone might have been like one of my favorites. Overall, I thought it was a straight album.
Okay. Yeah. I had mixed feelings about this one. It's technically a good album. It got decent beats, good rapping. He has, transition. I'm sucker for a good transition. Sample clips. I like good samples. It was well put together, but it didn't really like do it for me. Like overall, I found myself kind of zoning out in places.
Yeah, me too.
That was when I was supposed to be posting. But I found myself zoning out a little bit. I like 2012. That's a song I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seemed like it was missing something. It seemed
like it was missing something.
So somewhere around a C+ and a B-.
I gave it a C+.
Okay, all right, there you go.
I wish we would have held strong, not switch B-.
If I was kind of, cause I had mixed feelings, but I still think that was the closest we got.
Yeah,
right?
So far.
All right, next, 16, Denzel Curry.
Yeah.
Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. All right, I'll start this off. I don't have much to say about it. Not the best I've heard from Denzel, but not bad. Favorite song, Ain't No Way. I like the black hook. You know what I'm saying? He did the hook on there. I thought it was fire. Yeah, this one was just one of them ones. Like, I ain't have much to say. It's not, like I said, not the best I've heard from him. It's just like, okay, this cool.
Yeah. I'm not really a big Denzel fan. This is actually the first time, believe it or not, I've heard one of his albums. Yeah, I've tried to listen to him before in the past, like the singles here and there on YouTube and stuff like that. And I always thought he was good, but I just never had enough intrigue to actually like listen to his albums. So this is the first time I ever actually listened to one of his albums, and I was impressed. I was like, I get it now. I get why he has a pretty good like cult following, like fan base. Like I thought he was pretty good. He's better than I thought he was.
You might need to go back.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I might have
better than this.
I actually will go back then because I actually enjoyed this album. Like you, I like Ain't No Way. I love the features, Black, Rico Nasty, JID. That was a crazy song. I like Troubles with T-Pain. I like that T-Pain feature, which I thought was really dope in general, just because I feel like you don't hear T-Pain too much nowadays on other people's songs. So I thought that was really dope. And T-Pain did his thing on it too. It wasn't like T-Pain was on it. I'm like, I feel like T-Pain did his thing on that. So I thought it was a good song. I like Walking a lot. That was like I think the first or second song. It was like the flow was kind of straight, and then like halfway through, it had that transition, and he kind of picked it like, I was like, he flowing on this, like Walking. He really went in on Walking. I liked it overall. I was impressed. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. I was impressed. I liked it.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a B.
C.
Yeah. I figured when you were saying like you heard better, I was like, oh, he ain't good. I like it.
All right, let's keep it going. I feel like we're moving faster than we did last time.
Yeah, I feel that way too. Which is weird because last time we had a timer, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, 15, Freddie Gibbs, my cousin album that he ready for us to say something about. So I was nervous. I was like, he gonna kill me if I don't give it. Right. I guess I'll kick it off. First of all, I like the cover. The cover is cool with the bunny or whatever.
Yeah, the cover is fire.
Pretty cool. Or whatever. Nice intro. Couldn't be done. He flowing. He rapping, like the way he kicked it off. You gotta set a good first impression. He did. I like the transitions. 2 songs at the end of the song. Oh, so song 2 at the end of the song. So at the end of Pain and Strife, like the way it transitions to the next one. Fire. I do like Pain and Strife. It's potentially my favorite song, but I feel like Offset throws it off for me. And it's not even necessarily because like I got a problem with Offset per se, because I feel like it was good enough for him to not mess it up, but he's mixed weirdly. You don't think so? He's like so robotic or something.
Yeah,
like,
I felt the same way because I actually didn't realize that was him at first, and then I was like, "Wait, that was Offset." And I went back. I remember back and ran that song back because I was like, I didn't realize it was him at first. It's not like he had too much like auto tune or pitch correction or something. I don't know. It was like he sounded different. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but Freddie Gibbs was going in on this one. He actually put his foot into this album. You tell he really cared.
Yeah.
My favorite songs is either Rabbit Vision or Zipper Bags. I like got that nigga on the zipper bag, the zipper bag. Like that rapid flow he got. He'll get a song going.
Yeah.
But he do have one song that I'm just like kind of like let down on. He got Feel No Pain. It has Anderson .Paak on it and Raekwon.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of mad because I feel like that song is way too lax and like nothing, so to speak, for the features he has on it, especially Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
Like you could get anybody to sing that hook. However it happens, I feel like this Anderson .Paak, man. You got an Anderson .Paak feature, you better use them. I was mad about that joint, but outside of the overall solid album.
Right. Side note, I hate when people do that.
What?
I hate when people somebody get an artist on there, like a really dope artist, and the person doing like what I would consider to be like the bare minimum. And I'm like, I don't know how much you pay for this feature, but you better they better be singing, doing everything they can. Like
right.
I agree. Like I feel like Cole's done it with Trey Songz. I feel like Jay-Z done it with Beyonce several times. Granted, he probably didn't pay nothing for that feature, but I feel like Jay-Z done that feature with Beyonce. I'm just like, you could have got anybody for this. Why?
Right.
Yeah, I hate when people do that. I like this album. I don't know if this is my first Freddie Gibbs album or not. I don't know.
It's definitely not my first fan. I've been a fan for years. Yeah. And I'm not sure if this is his best project. He still had a lot of projects over the years. I would have to go back through them. I feel like it's one that I really like. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like it had like a religious type cover. But I remember liking it a lot. But I would have to go back. And I know he got one called Pinata that people really like. Or whatever, but yeah, it was so long ago I don't remember, but yeah.
So I like Freddie Gibbs, but he's kind of in the Denzel Curry lane for me in the sense of I may have heard one of his albums maybe once a long time ago, but I really don't remember. This is the first one I actually remember listening to, and I was impressed. I thought it was very good. Too Much was one of my favorites with Moneybagg Yo, and PYS with DJ Paul was one of my favorites. I thought it was a really good album. Like the cover art was fire.
I don't remember. I feel like I didn't really like the DJ
Paul
song.
one. Yeah.
Not like he don't really have no bad songs per se.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but he do kind of got like some low key skippers. Like it's not like every song got like I will skip like one or two of them joints.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way. I thought overall almost every track was good to me to an extent. I was impressed. I thought it was a good album. Yeah.
What you give it?
Give it a B-.
I gave it a B. Hey, why you give it a B-? You just don't want to be on the same page, do you? Like,
it's like the guy who gave it 2 scores early. We would have been on the same page. You had to go see for B-.
Some of them I'm like, I mean, or further notice, I'll let you do it first, and then if I'm in the middle, I'll just go with what you do. Because you gave all of them a grade, right?
Yeah.
Because some of them I'm kind of so. Yeah. I'll let you do it first. If I'm close, I'll just pick the one.
I wish I had known that because there's at least 2 albums on this list where I was like, but I just picked one and went with it.
Nah. Alright, let's move forward. Alright, number 14, Lil Sims.
Let's go.
Thank you. Last year, she got a new fan from pretty much both of us, right?
Yeah, she was a highlight for me to listen last year.
You, sometimes I might be introverted was fire, know, and I just said, you got a fan, and so I'm gonna keep up with her. But this album, No Thank You, was not as good as might be Introverted. Like Introverted just was just something different. It just had like that theatrical spin on it that just really I feel like just kind of took it over the top along with her skills with rapping, and it's good to see a female rapper out there that's not on that Flo Milli, Meg Thee Stallion type tip. She just really rapping for real. And that's good to see or hear. And like I said, it's still good rap. She got a good voice. I like her voice. She has a style that can carry a song, because she got some beats on there that I'm just like, that I might be like, I'm not sure if I like that beat, but her voice and her flow can pick up the song to make me kind of like it. Yeah. Solid album. I like Broken, Sideways, and X. So,
saying I was excited to see her back on the list again, because like you said, like she was a highlight for me last year.
Right.
I'd never heard of her last year, and I was like, oh, let me check this out. And I thought her album was like so dope last year. It's a breath of fresh air, and I feel the same way this year. Really dope. I will agree. I don't feel like it was as good as her last one. But overall, I think the album was still really dope. Production, just like last time, is crazy. Like, you can tell she has actual like musicians and artists like working on her music.
Right.
Content was still there. Like I said, I still feel like it was a little bit lacking. I hate to compare it to her last album. I hate to compare albums, but yeah, compared to her last one, it just felt like it was a little more dramatic, more story a little bit. This one felt a little bit more, I don't know, lacking. Like it's lacking something.
She went in there and she got nice on some beats.
Yeah.
It wasn't as like I said, theatrical. And, it wasn't like a concept album. Like
Broken, like you said, I like Broken. No Mercy was my favorite song on this album. I actually really like that song a lot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I like No Mercy a lot. But yeah, overall, it's still a good album. I just kind of wish it was hitting on something a little bit more, but it was still a pretty good album.
You went too hard on the first time.
Set the bar too high.
You said, I still want that. I'm still, like it's still solid, but this is what you give it.
I gave it a B-.
All right, we're gonna go with that. Hey, B-. Cool. All right, you want to kick it off for number 13, Lotto 777.
You can kick it off with Lotto. I'll start by saying this.
I had a lot to say about this.
I kind of did too. Yeah. I'll say I was pleasantly surprised, believe it or not, because I have never been in my entire life a Lotto fan. Every time I've heard of hers, I'm just like, this ain't it for me. The only time I really liked was, I'm a real ass, trill ass bitch. That was the only one. I think I liked that because it reminded me of like that old school kind of Trina sort of. But ever since then, I haven't liked any of her other songs really. Big Energy, didn't really feel that. I think the song's kind of hot, but only because of obviously the Mariah Carey, sample flip. But other than that, I was never I'm not really a fan of her music. But I will say that I listened to this album, I kind of got a little more respect for her, in the sense that it's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a whole bunch of like ratchet raunchiness, and it's in there. It's not get twisted. It's in there. But she had some other songs, and I wish she would actually. I would never want to change someone's artistry, but I wish she would do more of the other songs. She had a few songs in there where it wasn't like that, and I was like, I like this side of Lotto, that raunchiness and everything else. And I like raunchy. Don't get me wrong, but for her, when it comes from Lotto, I'm not really a fan of it. But she had some songs I thought were really dope, and I come to the conclusion that I feel like she's this generation's like Trina. After I heard this album, I'm like,
this like the third time he done disrespected somebody, ain't it?
I don't think that's that far off. I don't think that's that far off.
Nah, man.
I don't think that's that far off.
Son.
I like Trina a lot.
And you disrespecting Trick Daddy. And you disrespecting Rick Ross it's like,
the whole state of Florida by association.
Don't do that, bruh. No, she is not.
I think she is.
She ain't gonna get.
I feel like she's, again, this generation's Trina. I ain't saying she's Trina. She's this generation's Trina.
That's still a lot to be said. She still got a lot more to do. If that's the case, then all of them are. They do the same thing. What makes her specifically this generation's Trina?
Her style is like Trina. Like, Meg's style ain't Trina. Cardi's style ain't Trina. Like, Doja's style ain't Trina. This girl's style to me is Trina-esque. Anyway, moving right along. What my notes at? What'd I say?
I'm scared of your grade.
Sunshine. I thought Sunshine was fire. Wayne and Gambino. I don't know how you felt about it. I thought that song was fire.
I do like Sunshine.
I like a Thug with
Sunshine on Me, right?
Yeah, that song was fire. I thought I was like, man, this should be her single. I thought that song was fire. I like a Thug with Dirk. I like Southside. Was cool. Overall, this album actually surprised me. Again, I still wouldn't really say I'm a fan yet. She got to do more for me to get a fan out of me. But overall, this album surprised me. I really thought it was gonna be like bad, but I actually kind of rock with it. I mean, I probably won't come back to it. I saved them songs I mentioned, Sunshine, and the other one, Like a Thug with Dirk. I saved those songs individually, but as an album, I'm probably not coming back to it. But it impressed me, and again, I don't want to throw shade, but it may be because I already had such a low expectation, but it surprised me. I actually I rocked with it. It wasn't bad to me.
I don't know what this dude talking about. The low expectation jump worked for Flo Milli. It didn't work for Lotto.
That was trash.
No. The bad first impression, a lot of big talk for lackluster product. Oh, I'm the best. I'm the this, that, and that. Like she nice for real. Like, stop. Like, you coming after Lil Sims?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was a crazy contrast. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, you talking big talk. So I wasn't feeling it. Then it picked up around Sunshine on Me. I do like that song. Yeah. I feel like a Thug might be the best song on the project. Yeah. On Stepper, I just want to throw this out there because Nardo said.
I didn't like that song.
He said, put my guns in her name because she know I can't get them. It was just so simple and just blatant, just blunt, just like I almost just like, all right, I like the song just for Nardo part, like and you got Nardo got you out of here. Shoot.
I didn't think he did that good in that song. I didn't like that song really at all.
Yeah, but the no I can't get him boy pull me in. That's all I need. On Trust No Bish, Lotto said, don't know if they selling records or sex.
Yo, I wasn't gonna mention it. I was not gonna mention. Out of everything she said, this entire album, that was a line. I'm not gonna lie. I heard it. I was listening on my phone. My phone was on my bed. I was walking around like folded clothes. When she said, I said, I literally picked up my phone, ran the song back just to make sure I heard that right. I'm not even joking. I actually took the song.
Ain't that the pot cold, the kettle black.
I ran that song back like 20 seconds. Did you see what I literally rewinded it just to make sure I heard that right. I was like, what am I missing? I ain't trying to throw shade, but I'm like, what am I missing here?
See, I'm gonna call you out. So you might slide it past him. You're not sliding this jump past me. He was gonna let you slide.
I was.
WTF. She really what did I write? She really thinks she nice. / generic raps in style, not much substance. She repeated some stuff like 2 not 1 and Pink. See? Like, she was repeating some stuff. And then, like I said, she had that bar talking about sex or records of sex. That's what you do. You sell sex.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
Keep it real.
That line really caught me off guard. I was like, maybe she don't think that way about herself, but I was like, oh.
Yeah, come on now. At least be real with yours, man. Come on, look at the cover. All right. What else did I say? Wanted the light bust down, then Kodak ruined it. On Sleep, she says, he gonna make time for a bitch like me, real PIMP. So is she saying she the pimp in this situation?
I'm not really sure.
So is that like pimping now that you can get a guy to have sex with you? Is that pimping?
I guess.
How?
I guess.
That's not hard to do. You look the way you look. Like, you go up to almost any guy and be like, hey, what? All right. That's pimping now?
I guess so. I guess pimping.
or more realistically, is she saying that the guy that she's doing something with is the pimp or the PIMP? I think she's probably not saying that.
I think she's saying she's the pimp.
How?
I ain't got the answers, man.
Alright, what you give it?
I should get a B-, believe it or not. I thought we
were about to end this show.
I thought it was solid. It's a solid album.
I'm about to end this show.
I thought it was a solid album, man.
D, respect it anyway. Come on, man. I don't know about your darn grading, man.
She's rocking with them other songs, man.
Did you give this higher than Flo Milli?
No.
What you give it again?
This one?
Yeah.
A B-.
It's close to Flo Milli.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah.
It's not that
Flo
close.
Milli is better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's move on.
She got me over with the other song that wasn't raunchy.
This wasn't good. It ain't even about the raunchiness. Like, just be creative with it. It's not like I'm some prude or something, but be creative with it. Like, you can have a song about sex all you want to and stuff, but you know, have some innuendo, have some nuance. Don't just. This was one was kind of hard to get through for me, but let's move on. I don't want to spend too much time. All right, number 12, Earl Sweatshirt, sick. I've listened to a few of his projects in the past, here and there. I feel like he's okay. He's not like nobody I'm necessarily like going out my way to look for. But yeah, I don't have much to say about this one. It wasn't offensive, but it wasn't fire. It didn't stay too long, and that's always a good thing. You know, it didn't overstay its welcome. You know, because you know that's really bad. You got an album that's not good. Not to say this is not good, but an album that's, you know, you're not really getting much from. That's all so long.
Yeah.
And my favorite song is Into the Fire, Into the Hole. Or, the intro or Fire in the Hole. Excuse me. I can't read. I got, you know. What's it called when you, dyslexia. Well, go ahead. What you like?
I felt really kind of similar to what you said. I was so disappointed. I wanted to like this album so bad.
You're an Earl Sweatshirt fan?
No. But that's why I wanted to like it, because I know a lot of people who are, like, people love him. Like, he has like crazy strong following. Like, people really love him. Mm-hmm. And I feel like people are gonna kill me right now in the comments. But this is actually my first time listening to an Earl Sweatshirt album. I've never heard an album of his. I've heard him on other people's songs and stuff like that, but I never heard an album. I just never really had any interest. So I was really looking forward to it. Like, I wanted to like this album so bad.
He had better projects, actually.
Yeah, really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just wasn't impressed, though. I was actually kind of disappointed. I actually felt like it was a little bit boring to me. It is what it is. That's why, for that reason, I do like what you said. Like, he did it and got out of there. Like, it wasn't like, he definitely didn't overstay his welcome. It's kind of straight to the point and direct. I kind of liked Titanic. I kind of liked Lobby. But overall, I felt like I was disappointed. I expected a little bit more energy out of it, and I didn't get that. But overall, it was still cool. I mean, he could still rap. It was cool.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a C.
C.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally.
Right up the middle. Yeah.
Finally.
C. All right, next. Central C at 11 with the album 23. What you got on it? What?
You know how I feel about this, man.
So the drill. Go ahead.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, I'm not a drill fan. Well, not new age drill. I like drill back when my mind went blank. Like Chief Keef, whatever, people consider that drill back then. I like that kind of drill. I'm not a fan of like this new age drill. To me, it all sounds the same.
I got you on that 5 though.
I will admit, I wasn't a fan of his either, because as soon as I hear a drill beat, I'm just like, oh man, kind of tuning it out. But I will admit, he had a few songs I like, and I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of rock with him a little bit now.
Okay.
But usually, though, if it ain't Pop Smoke, I'm not really rocking with it. But I will admit, yeah, Mr. 4 got a few. I'm like, okay, he got a few in there. But typically, I'm not a fan of drill, this new drill sound. So this is kind of a hard one for me to get through. But I will say it wasn't bad. If you like drill music, it wasn't bad. Overall, it's cool. He had some lyricism to him, a little bit.
He did?
A little bit, and that's what I actually about to say. Lil Bro,
I got that.
Lil Bro, a little bit. Lil Bro was probably my favorite song of the album, and even then, it was still kind of drillish, so I didn't really feel it too much. But I like that kind of storytelling. I mean, I don't know if you caught that, but that's what I said. He had some lyricism to him. Lil Bro was like a story, some storytelling throughout the entire song. Basically, him talking to his little brother, basically. So I thought that was kind of cool song. That's all I really got to say about it. I'm not a fan of drill music, so I wasn't. It was a cool album if you like drill. It was hard. It was hard for me to get through it, but I made it.
All right.
It wasn't bad though.
With the exception of a very select few, like maybe like 1 or 2. I'm not a big drill fan either. That beat is just, they sound the same. It's not for me. So all his songs sound the same to me.
Yeah, I agree.
They all sound the same.
Yeah.
I stayed in it because I did like the accent and he said funny stuff. So that's what kind of kept me in there. Like, well, okay, this sounds the same, but let me hear what he gonna say.
Yeah.
Not because I think he was nice or anything, but I was like, okay, he kind of just one of them rappers that just be kind of saying whatever. You might be like, oh, that's funny. He crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's all I got.
Yeah.
I ain't picked no songs. It's like all of them or none of them. They all.
Yeah, I said Lil Bro to me was the most different one out of all of them to me, but all the rest of them sounded the same. Like I can't really rock with this.
What you give?
I gave it a C.
C minus.
Okay, close enough.
I'm surprised you gave it that high.
This is what I was saying earlier. It's not fair for me to say it was tragic because I don't like drill. If that's the case, I could honestly, if that's what we're going by, I could just not listen to this album at all. As soon as I heard that first beat and realized the whole album was gonna be drill, I could have been like next, because I would just give it an F off of that. Because I do not like drill, not this new age drill. Like some people, would you consider Dirk drill? Like some people say like Dirk is drill. I don't think Dirk is drill. Like
I don't know.
I like Dirk. I like Chief Keef. This new type of I don't. This new sound, I don't really rock with it. But that's why I say overall he can rap. I mean, if you like drill, I think you would like it. But I just had to give it a C. I couldn't. I didn't think it was fair for me to give it lower than that. But I don't rock with it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So technically F for him. All right. Number 10, Mavi, Laughing So Hard It Hurts. I only wrote 2 things for this.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it has Kid Cudi vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And why is this album so high on the list?
I don't know. Again, that's
why is this 10?
That's why, again, I wasn't sure if they were really in order. I don't know.
It was so just... What do I want to say about it? Like, I didn't write much because it just came and went. It wasn't like nothing stand out about it to me for me to even write anything down outside. I felt like it had Kid Cudi vibes. I mean, it wasn't like bad or anything, but I was still like, why is this so high? Like, what you got for this? Like,
so much like Earl Sweatshirt, I wanted to like this album so bad.
Why? You know him?
I don't. So what happened was,
me neither.
and I feel like I should, but I don't. And the reason I say I feel like I should because as I'm listening to the album, I never heard of him. Mavi, I assume that's how you say it. I never heard of him. I'm listening to the album. First song, I thought I heard him say something about Charlotte, but I was like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. So I ran it back. Huh?
I said maybe.
I ran it back. He did say Charlotte. I was like, that's kind of weird, but I still wasn't really getting the connection. A few songs in later, he says it again, and I'm like, so then I'm like, okay, this is weird. So then I gotta go back. I do my Googles, do a little research.
Okay.
This man's from Charlotte.
I did not know that.
He's from Charlotte, and once I realized that, I was like, I really want to like this album. I gotta support this album. I have to. Being a Charlotte native myself, I have to like this album. Right. So then I felt bad listening to from that moment on, listening to the whole rest of the album, I just felt bad the whole time because I wasn't feeling it. Right. My notes were that he's
respect that you from Charlotte and you came up and you on this list.
Yeah,
respect.
Yeah, definitely, hands down, big respect for you making it to this list. Like,
right,
much respect, and that's why I'm mad that I didn't really care for it. My notes were that he's from Charlotte, so I'm mad that I didn't really know who he was, and I'm mad that I didn't really care for the album. My second note was that it was kind of boring to me. I really thought the album was kind of boring to me. I really hate that because I wanted to like it. So once I realized it was from Charlotte, I was like, no, I need to like this album. Like I said, much respect to you for making it to this list.
Facts.
Putting
out of respect for that just because
you're
from the town. So.
Yeah. But I didn't really care for the album. I was kind of disappointed. It's kind of boring to me. I give it a C.
C?
Yeah.
You know, right up the middle. It wasn't offensive or anything like that, but it wasn't like enough for me to.
Yeah.
You know. All right.
Stormzy
coming in at number 9 with This Is What I Mean. He got a fan. This album is nice. I like this joint. I like, the first song, Fire and Water. I kept on thinking it was going to the next song. Like, he had like 3 different like switch ups in the first song alone. I kept on looking at the track list, like looking at the phone. I'm like, this is the same song? He tricked me like 2 times. Yeah. That jump was fire. He left a great first impression. I like the variety that he had, the instrumentation, the switches. It was good music. I like that he mixed he's like he got like the godliness in it. Whatever he talks about God at the same time, it's like ratchetness, righteousness. Kind of coming together, like the yin and yang, fighting with each other, like trying to decide what side you on type stuff. So I thought that was dope. What else? I feel like it lost energy a little bit after 6, which was Hide and Seek. I wanted another This Is What I Mean, because at the beginning it started off very like high energy and like it was a kind of like a lot going on. And that This Is What I Mean song, this is what I mean. Like he was going in or whatever. Yeah. And then like on the back end of the album, you know, it was kind of like, it wasn't bad songs. Don't get me wrong, definitely wasn't bad songs. It wasn't bad songs, but it was enough for me to like pull back on the grade a little bit, because I was like, if you would have kept that same energy, and it's not even necessarily I wanted hype songs per se, but it's just even the slow songs just seemed like it had more to it than the ones at the end, or whatever. And if it would have been like that all throughout, I would have gave it a higher grade. I would have gave it a higher grade, but nonetheless, I might need to do my homework and go listen to his stuff in the past, and I'm gonna keep an eye on him because he has a fan. I like this album a
lot. Similar to what you said, this man has a fan now. This album is fire. This album was fire. I was not expecting this. This man is the Little Sims of this list. Like, how I felt about Little Sims last year is how I felt about Stormzy this year. Like,
how do you feel about what's up with the influx of like the UK artists? Like,
I caught that too. Yeah, even Little Sims is like it's like
what you think about that? Like, 'cause you know the guy, you got the drill dude, and like it's a bunch of like what you think is up with that?
I caught that too. I don't know. Maybe people with the. I mean, obviously, the internet's been out for years now, but maybe people are just getting more up to more hip to other artists outside of the country. I think people are kind of getting on now, kind of like being more exposure and kind of picking up on these people. We got people like Burna Boy who didn't make this list. I mean, I don't know if he had an album last year or not, but I mean, Burna Boy is Nigerian, but still outside, but he's not UK, but still outside of the US. I think people are just getting more exposure to, I don't say foreign, but foreign artists, like artists who aren't necessarily from the US. And I think they're like giving them their credit now. I guess people are getting exposure, so they're like, I actually like this person, and I caught that too. Though I noticed there's like several UK artists or artists who just aren't from the States, so I thought it was pretty dope.
We'll continue.
Yeah. And I've heard the only difference between Stormzy and Little Sims is I've heard of Stormzy. I've known about Stormzy for a while.
This is my first time.
I've been about him, Gigs, Burna Boy.
Oh yeah, I know Gigs.
Yeah, like the Burna Boy's from Nigeria, but who else? Skepta. There's a lot of dope artists from UK. So I've known about Stormzy for a while. I heard him on other people's songs before, but I've never taken time out to listen to an album. I didn't really have any interest at all. So honestly, I don't know why, but in my head I thought he was gonna be like kind of like a drill artist, and I didn't realize that he wasn't. I don't know what I was really expecting, but this was not it.
Yeah, this list will kind of like bring, like when you do these lists, like it's like a roller coaster. You'll get brought down, and you'll get into like a pocket of like certain artists, and you'll just be like, oh. Yeah. And then you'll get to somebody like Storms, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it was. Like, this album really caught me off guard. Like, I really thought he was going to be not necessarily drill, but more of like a hard, like, men's not hot, 2 + 2 is 4. Like, quick math.
Because of that Stormzy, yes.
Right. But it wasn't like that. It really caught me off guard. Like, off gate, like you said, Fire and Water was fire. Like, I love that song. Like you said, the switch ups were dope. Like, I for a second, I thought it was the second song too, and I was like, wait, it's the same song. Okay, cool. And it's a long song. It's 8 minutes too, so that didn't help. So I was like, I thought it was the second song, but it was still the first song.
Right.
I guess maybe that was a Fire and Water. Maybe it's Fire at first and Water. I don't know, but I thought it was dope. Then, like you, same note, same song. Next song was This Is What I Mean. And that song was like hard. I was like, yo, this album is fire. Like, this is crazy. His production is crazy. Much like Little Sims, like, you can tell he has, like, musicians on these tracks. Like, these aren't just people on drum machines or whatever. These are people who know how to play instruments. Like, the production is crazy. Like, I love this album so much. It was really dope. A real big breath of fresh air. The only thing, pretty much I'm saying everything you said. My only drawback to this album was pretty much what you said. There was too many slower songs. Like, at first, it was cool at first, but then I say probably around track 6 or 7 or so, I was like, he had a hard song in a while. I think This Is What I Mean was the only one on the album that was actually kind of hard body. Everything else he was kind of like singing, or maybe he was rapping, but it was kind of mellow. But I think that says a lot to how good this album is, that even if the songs were kind of slower and kind of mellow, I still thought the album was fire. Like, I didn't even really catch it, like you said, until about track 6 or 7 when I was like, okay, this I mean like the 4th or 5th slow song in a row. Like, let's get another hard body song in there. That was my only drawback to it. And without that, honestly, it probably would have been higher than what I gave it. I gave it a high score, but it probably would have. I gave it an A-. I just really thought it was a fire album. It probably would have been a solid A had he not. I just wish he had like at least two more like hard body songs in there, but overall, like, I still like the album. Even though it had slow songs, I still like the album a lot.
I gave it a B. I guess it could have been a B plus maybe. I wouldn't be mad if we bumped it up a B plus, but I just couldn't. That back end pulled me off from giving it an A. Yeah. Pause.
Yeah, I felt the same way too though. Like towards the end, I was like, damn, I wish he had another like. Yeah. At least two more.
It would have had that same energy as that first half. He definitely would have got an A. But I was just like,
you definitely got a fan of me though. I'm definitely checking for his music moving forward. Like this is
facts. This was
the biggest surprise of this list for me.
This was a good pickup after everything we had been through up to this point. Yeah. Because you listen to this in order, right?
I started skipping around. At this point in this is when I started skipping around. But this is still, I think this still came after Mavi for me. I think Central C. I think, so it still came at a good spot because I was, I think right before that I heard like 2 or 3 when I was like, nah.
And I'm not mad at your A- either. It's a really good.
It's a really good album.
You're gonna be nicer anyway. But I respect that all the way. All right, let's move on. Go ahead and tell them about the Megan Thee Stallion Traumazine.
Yeah, Traumazine. Yeah.
Traumazine coming in at number 8. Go on and tell them how much you love it.
I loved it. A+ to the max. 5 stars. I wish I had more thumbs so I can give it 4 thumbs up.
Actually, 4 thumbs up.
All jokes aside, I actually was impressed with this album. It's similar to Lotto, but Meg's different. Meg's different. You done? Megan's different. Megan's different from Lotto in the sense that I expected this from Meg. I'm more of a Meg fan than Lotto. Like I said, I've never been a fan of Lotto before. I think I've always thought Meg was good. To me, she's always been kind of lacking something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like she's kind of lacking. I feel like it's gonna sound really weird. I'm about to say like I know her personally, but Meg always kind of disappoints me a lot because I feel like she was talking about like raunchiness and stuff, and I feel like she doesn't have to with her skill and her caliber of like rapping. I don't feel like she doesn't have to talk about that stuff. And nothing wrong with talking. If you want to talk raunch or whatever, like we can play battle sex. Dudes do that stuff all the time, which they do. But I feel like I kind of wish she didn't as much. I just kind of feel like I wish she didn't as much. I definitely like this album more than her last one.
It's better than the one that was on the list last year.
Yeah. And I feel like my biggest problem with the one last year was I feel like it was a lot of like mixtape sounding stuff, where this one sounded like a more cohesive album. Like she actually put a little more thought into it to me than the last guys compared to the last one. She had some songs I like actually. Like Not Nice was cool. Gift from the Curse was cool. I didn't write down too many notes.
Me neither. I don't got much to say about
Star with Lucky Day. I like that one. I thought Plan B was cool. Oh, Sweetest Pie. I really like that song a lot. I thought that song was fire. I thought that should have been her single. If it's not, maybe it is.
I don't even remember that song.
Can
you play it real quick?
Yeah, it was the last song on the album with Dua Lipa. It was very poppy. Very poppy.
While you found that song, I didn't have much to say about this one. I knew what it was going into it. I've never been a Meg fan. Yeah. It was better than the one last year. I'll give you that. It was too long. It was too long. It had beats here and there. That's pretty much it. What's the song you're talking about?
Yeah, I'll play it really quick. Side note too, I didn't like Her. That song on there called Her. I see she tried to go over that. She tried to do different, and I respect her trying to do something different.
That go crazy on TikTok.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
Well, if so, then mission accomplished.
It's one of them songs.
Yeah,
I get it.
I didn't like it though. And there wasn't too many songs on this entire list of songs I didn't like.
Song or something.
But I just did not like that song. But this is Sweetest Pie.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that one now.
Yeah, I like the song a lot. I thought the song was fire. I was like, this needs to be her single, and it's something different that she don't. I feel like that she don't typically do. Kind of very poppy, but I like that. That was the best song on the album to me.
What'd you give this?
I gave it a B, solid B.
Ugh, come on, man.
You give it an F.
Nah, I didn't get no F.
You'll make it. Sexist. He giving all the girls low scores.
Nah, that's not true. That's not true. I gave little sales. What I gave little sales? A B. Nah, I gave this a C minus.
Okay.
A C minus.
I mean, I get why you gave it that though. I like it though. I thought it was a good album.
I'm tired of you, man. I'll kick you out. Alright. Next is Kenny. At number 7, Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper. So,
I'm telling you, man, that was not in order, yo. I'm telling you, that was not in order.
Alright. I'm gonna kind of speak for both of us or whatever, unless you have something specific to say.
Probably not.
But, first of all, yes, this album is too low. Even though it's 7, it's too low. I feel like it should be 1 or 2. Period. No lower than 3. That's just what it is. Yeah. But, we got a whole episode where we break that, like, it's like an hour long where we go and break down and decipher the songs and talk about how we feel about this album. I feel like I gave it like a B+ or something like that. I think I gave it a B+, trying to think back to what I said on the video.
Yeah, I don't know what I gave it.
Whatever. But if you want to know how we feel about it, I like this album. I like the album. He likes the album. Yeah. You have anything else to add to it? You want to move on?
Nah, that's a great album. We can move forward. It's a great album.
We got a whole episode on this. We don't need to go into all of it.
Amazing album, though. Definitely one of the better ones on this list.
For sure. All right, number 6, Metro Boomin, Heroes and Villains.
If Metro Boomin don't trust you,
all right, go ahead.
This one, it might not be a funny story, but it's funny to me. I accidentally listened to this album.
How you do that?
What I mean by accidentally, it was intentional. So it was after we already said we're gonna listen to this list. Mm-hmm. And then one of my homeboys came into town and we was just riding. He's like, "Yo, Metro Boomin dropped the album. You wanna check it out?" So we was just vibing to it in the car. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it was even on the list. So when I came across the album on the list, I was like, "Oh, I've already heard it already." Okay. But I did listen to it a second time because obviously when you listen to it in your car with your homeboys, your friends, or whatever, it's gonna be kind of different. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me actually sit down and listen to it like for real this time. It was a cool album. It kind of reminded me of again Amigos and Her Loss. It was very kind of basic to me. The songs are good, but they're not like, to me, they're not very memorable. Like I'm not really coming back. Oh, that one song, I didn't really have that feeling. Overall, good album. Like the very first track with John Legend. A few other songs down here I thought was really dope. Not take it back. Not really dope. It feels like they were good. I feel like the whole album was good. I don't think any of the songs were really bad, but they were just good, which to me makes them basic. I'm not really coming back to them.
That's the word we're using. Good.
Basic. They're very basic to me. I think none of them are bad. To me, the dopest thing about the album was the fact that he actually had an instrumental version. And I thought that was really fire. I don't know if I heard that from any other producers. I want none of them. I mean, I ain't necessarily. Me neither, really. But the point is, I thought it was different. That the fact that he actually did that. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And I may have, and maybe I don't remember. If there's any other producers out there that done that before, I don't recall. I'm trying to think, maybe I heard DJ Mustard or somebody, but
should have did this for what's his name's album? Pushes.
Yeah, that would have been dope.
I would have liked to have for that.
But that was Push's album, not Kanye and Pharrell's album. So as a producer, I guess that's why he felt the need to drop a B-side where it's just a beast, which I thought was really cool. But overall, I thought the album was just kind of basic. It was cool.
Okay. So I had low expectations going into it because of past experiences. I've heard Metro Boomin albums before. I like him enough as a producer. He's not like my favorite producer, but he ain't whack either. Like he do some good stuff, some stuff I like, but his albums have been whatever for me in the past. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of everybody he tends to roll with. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had low expectations going into it. So then it started off theatrical. So I'm like, oh, he might be doing something different. He got John Legend, the dope transitions or whatever. And, I feel like after song 3, it kind of turned into what you would expect. What you expect from an album that he's doing. Too much 21. Wish there was more Future. If Future was on it, he was kind of carrying if he was there most of the time. 21, and then I wasn't a fan of the Travis song either. I was kind of looking forward to that. I didn't really like the Travis song.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Travis and Don Toliver, and both I just kind of felt like their songs was still basic, and I was kind of disappointed with that. Yeah.
All right. The beginning of Umbrella pissed me off because it had a dope intro. It had like this, like this a sample. Then it went into the song, and I was like, So 21 is on it, and he says, Chopper sing like it's Adele. Who's Adela?
I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch that.
Let me know.
I didn't even catch that. Ain't they from like the same like country? Shouldn't you know this?
I have no idea who Adela is.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and everybody just let it fly. It wasn't even like creative enough for it to be like, oh, we know you said it wrong and it's dope, like Wayne do sometimes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It was just like, you just pronounced that wrong.
Yeah.
Like my favorite song was Feel the Fire. It kind of gave me Kanye West vibes.
Oh, I forgot to mention my songs. Yeah, go ahead.
I like that. Wish It was more on the album like that. But I do feel like it was a little bit too derivative of a Kanye West song. Maybe that's why I liked it. Yeah. But it was that one, and it was like a Future song like towards the beginning that I really liked too, or whatever. But yeah, that beat was just undeniable to me, or whatever. But it was so Kanye, whatever. New shoes, on that beat with that type of beat that you would think Kanye would make, or whatever. But yeah, that's how I felt about it. You want to go into your songs before we tell the grades?
Yeah. So real quick, Feel the Fire is my favorite one too. All
right.
Yeah.
Else?
It was a dope song. Not to mention, I thought it was different from the rest. That could be partially because of the beat. It could be partially because ASAP was on it. ASAP wasn't on any other songs. And that Takeoff RIP, which was dope because I didn't even know either one of them. Like I was playing the album, but not really looking at the tracks that they were coming along. Because I like sometimes I like being surprised when the feature people come in.
No. So when you listen to albums, do you typically not look at the songs?
It depends. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. If it's an album like chock full of features and stuff like this one is, I try not to until maybe like halfway through the song or whatever. I might look at it or whatever. But
because you don't want to see the features.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise time when somebody like Takeoff. I was not expecting Takeoff to come in here. I thought this album.
I get it.
I could be wrong, but I guess I thought it dropped before after his passing, so I definitely wasn't expecting him to be on it. So it was really cool hearing him on there. ASAP. That's definitely the hottest song to me on the album.
Yeah, I always like to know what the song is.
Yeah.
Called whatever.
Yeah. Walk 'Em Down I thought was really good with 21. Creeping was cool with The Weeknd just because it was different, but it wasn't one of my favorite.
I didn't like Creeping.
Yeah.
It's like y'all took a classic and ain't really do nothing with it. To me, it's just like okay.
Yeah, but it was
Go ahead.
Overall though, I gave it a C+.
C. Hey, it was a C.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't offensive, I guess. All right. I'm gonna let you start this one off. Number 5, my favorite number 5, Vince Staples, Ramona Park, Broke My Heart. How you feel about it?
Vince Staples, another artist similar to Freddie Gibbs for me in the sense that I've heard him at other places, but I never really took the time to really like sit down and like really listen to an album of his before. So I was looking forward to it, and it didn't let me down. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It did not let me down. I liked it. It's a solid album. I don't really have too many notes to talk about. I don't know if we're gonna have any songs really. No, I didn't write down any songs, but overall it was a cool album. I liked it. He can rap. The songs were cool. The production was straight. None of the songs really like jumped out like that to me, but overall I thought it was a good album.
All right. What?
One last note. At one point I did feel like it started getting slightly boring. Maybe a little bit repetitive, but overall I liked it.
This album potentially the best album on this list.
All right, now we can end it. Now we can end the show. Now we can end the show.
Potentially. Didn't say it was, but potentially the best album on this list, and you're gonna get another surprise from me later, cause we'll get there. But
so you acting like Kendrick wasn't on this list.
I said potentially. I wouldn't be mad if you like this Vince Staples, because I done heard a lot of people talking junk about Kendrick's album, to be honest. I don't agree, but I'm just saying, if somebody said Vince Staples, I wouldn't argue.
So we just have like Stormzy. Alright, we'll go ahead.
Nah, I thought this junk was fire. I don't even care. This junk was fire. Good production, good beats, good lyricism, good substance. Mixed with the street talk. It wasn't just blatant street talk killing. It was substance with it. I can just put this joint on. It's no skippers for me. It's no skippers, and that's hard, and that's why I gave it the grade that I gave it, because it's very hard to get an album where you can just let run. I forgot this song that I really like called I think it's called East Coast Prayer or something like that or whatever. I like a song called Lemonade, and I didn't even write them down. I just show you I went back or whatever. But I just thought this jump was fire. It had good beats. all the way through, I was kind of getting scared when he got to like 6. So I'm like, okay, it gotta be something trash coming. But nothing ever came that was trash. I still was like wanting to listen to songs because I still had like a few albums I had to get to. But I was like, man, I kind of want to listen to that Vince Staples. And Vince Staples is one of those people that I've been kind of rocking with him for a while. But he stays so low key, you kind of forget about him. Or whatever. I feel he's always been good. Like his album called FM was really good too, and it's a few others I listen to. He has good music. I feel like he's just an overall good artist. He has good performances when he comes up on stage. You see him on Coachella, all that. He's a really good artist. He just kind of stays out of the way sometimes though, so you kind of forget about him, and that's kind of partly his fault, partly my fault. I think we can share that or whatever. But see, he's on Abbott Elementary. I see him on there.
Really?
But yeah, I really like this album, man. This is my only A on the list.
Wow.
My only A.
Wow.
This gets an A from me. Go listen again, boy.
Wow. I give it a B-. But wow.
B-?
Yeah.
Damn, that's low.
A is high to me.
I gotta go back through. So what you I'm looking at you. what you gave it under?
B, C, under.
I gave it under. What you gave it under?
Denzel Curry. It's on Denzel Curry. I enjoy Denzel more.
What?
Yeah.
Man, I'm done with you, man. That album was fire. Anyway, all right, let's move on. I really like that album though. That went in me. I'm gonna listen to it again for sure. Alright, number 4, Rock Marciano and Alchemist, Elephant Man's Bones. Why is this number 4?
I'm telling you, man, these are not.
You remember?
Not in order.
You remember? It was on Nerds Delight. Go follow Nerds
Delight podcast. Yeah.
Go follow them. It was on Nerds Delight. You remember what I said about Rock Marciano?
I remember you mentioned it, but I don't remember what you said though. I do remember you bringing him up.
I told you. What was the thing I said? I said you don't drive to him, you drive through him. Like I felt like it was a place, like Albemarle.
Yeah.
Like not whack or whatever, but it ain't nothing like to be, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of downplaying him when Jay brought him up.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
You get it now.
Yeah, I get it now. I get it now. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw his name on the list. I was like, oh, it's Rock Marciano. I remember we talked about it, but I can't remember exactly what you said. Yeah.
Right. Like I've known about Rock Marciano for years. He's been around for years. I've listened to albums here and there, and this is how he gives it up. Like I said, he's not whack, but I feel like his album should be like, this album probably should be like one above like Billy Woods or like Elusive. It should be right in there with that group. What they was like 20 or something like that. It should be right in there with them. Yeah. Alchemist is one of my favorite producers, but obviously he catered the beats to what Rock Marciano wanted, but I don't like this type of, production from Alchemist. Like, it should be with Rome Streets and them. How good the song depends on how much I like the beats, cause Rock Marciano he gonna get on it the same way every time. Yeah. He gonna give you some lyrics. I mean, and it's gonna be the same thing. No hook, just rap. Meh, or whatever. It's I ain't gonna go in and say it's trash. Maybe my favorite song is JJ's Flash if I was gonna pick one. So I'm not gonna say it's bad, of course, but but it's just another one of them tight ones, and that's just how that's how he gives it up. But it ain't for me.
Yeah, I ain't got much to say. I pretty much agree with pretty much everything you said. Yeah, I actually said everything I wanted to say. I had nothing else to say.
What you give it?
I gave it a C-.
Dang, I gave it a C.
Okay. It is what it is.
I'm not mad at the C-, but I thought you was gonna be nicer.
Nah, C-.
Alright, let's move forward. Alright. So are we going with J.I.D. or Jid? The Forever Story coming in at number 3.
I don't know. Jokingly, I was about to say Jitty Jid, but I think when I talk to him, when I mention him, I think whenever I talk about him, I do say J.I.D. I don't think I ever call him Jid.
I feel like he said Jid at one point.
Really?
But I'm like, is he? I don't know. Is he just saying that just to go along with the beat? Or like, Because he do have dots between these.
I think it's both. I think it really is.
It don't matter.
I think it's JID, but I think Jid is more of a nickname-ish sort of. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other artists like that, but I can't think of
I've been like rocking with him for years, but I've never really like known like he's not out there enough either to like for you to really catch, you know.
Yeah, I think Jid is just more of a nickname, kind of like a shorter version of instead of JID, it's just Jid. Kind of like 21 instead of saying 21 Savage. Yeah, because
this is like technically like his first like studio album, like outside of his like mixtapes.
Yeah.
Like, you wanna kick this off?
I'll kick it off. I love this album. I love it a lot. I almost wonder if I might change my score and make it higher, but I love this album a lot. It's just fire. His style is dope. His flow is amazing. The beats were I thought really good. Dance Now is one of my favorites. Of course, surround sound. Love surround sound. I love that since it came out. Yeah. Yeah, that whole song was fire. I love surround sound so much. Dance Now was dope. I love the storytelling he does occasionally from track to track, like Sister Them and a few other songs with storytelling abilities. JID is a really dope artist. I like his music a lot. This album, I liked him before, but this album made me more of a fan than I already was. I just think he's a really dope artist. I think this album was really dope. I like that a lot. I don't rap. I don't really have much to say. I just think it's a fire album.
Okay. This is the last album I listened to on the list, and I had already listened to it because we talked about it.
Yeah.
But I listened to it again because I was like, I need a refresher because it's been a minute. And I actually didn't like it as much.
Oh, yeah.
I did not like it as much. Like when I really listened to it again and really sat down, when I sat down and listened to it again, I was kind of like, what was I doing when I listened to this the first time? Because the reason his grade is what it is right now, where I have it, because I have dropped it. Because I was sitting at a certain place, and then when I decided to listen again, it dropped a little bit. But the reason why it's still as high as it is because of him. I've always liked Jid or whatever, but his Leo DiCaprio joint might be better than this. Like, I feel like he is nice. Who he is nice. The flow, the way he switches up his voice, he's very talented. But I feel like overall, when I listen to this joint, a lot of these songs is kind of like, they not like fire to me. They not like fire to me. Like,
I could agree with that. Honestly, like you, I heard the album way before the list. So I was actually thought about not even listening to it again because I was like, I already know how I felt about it. It's an 8, but when I stepped back
you
to it,
gave it an A?
No, when I listened to it, I did go back and listen to it again, and upon my listening to it again, I was like, it's not as hot as I remember it being. I still think it's a hot album. I think it's a fire album, but it's not. I dropped it from an A. Similar to what you're saying, like some of the songs, I'm just like. Some of the songs are just
going in, and I just know and I'm rooting for. I think that might have been part of. I was just so happy. I really was ready to listen to Jid because I've been waiting a long time, been rocking with a long time. I just wanted him to win. That might have been part of it. Yeah. But when I really be honest with myself, I'm like, is this like fire? And I didn't like all this time. I'm just listening to it again. It couldn't have been that hot. And I didn't have the need to feel like I wanted to go back. Yeah. Like it's kind of like. I'm low key like, shoot, did Cole help you with these beats? You just more entertaining, so you can pull it out. You can add the energy to it with who you are, with your voice and your style. But the beat itself is kind of like, okay, like it's not a bad beat, but it's lax. You telling the story. I get it. So I'm gonna give it to you for your talent. Yeah. I'm giving it to you for your talent, but. Are a lot of these songs like fire beats, fire songs that I'm gonna go back to? No, he got some joints on there, of course, that that I liked or whatever. But overall, is it like as fire as I thought it was? Nah. So he was sitting on a B, but I dropped him down to a C+.
Gasp.
I'm sorry, I dropped him down to.
Who got him higher?
Yeah, I ain't got my whole list out like you, whatever.
Nah, man. Yeah.
I had to it just I had to be real. That wasn't like a song that really, like I said, like I was gonna say it with other albums. It's like, yeah, these songs ain't bad, and you nice, you specifically nice, but the song, is it really like, ooh, like, no, it's not. But I was treating it as such. Like I was like, kind of like looking at like, you Kendrick, like what was I thinking? You ain't no Kendrick. Like I was there with it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was too, and that's why I felt the same way. There's a few albums on this list that I heard before we even got to the list. Kendrick, J.I.D. There's a few other names out there, and I was similar to what you said. I was thinking Kendrick and J.I.D. and then after I heard it again, I was like, nah, I ain't trying to know C+, but I had to. I give it a B+. Yeah. Right. So it's not an A, but it's still up there for me. I still thought it was really good.
And figure you would be shocked about that one.
Yeah, that did shock me.
I do like it, but you know, he ain't have no get him on the He ain't have none of them on there. He
had some ones on there. Yes, surround sound's fire.
See, and then I remember you sent me surround sound. I wasn't a big fan of it then.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
It was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah. I like the girl part.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah, that's.
Then I was mad that they cut her off so fast.
She was very short part.
Let her rock. What is she going in?
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, G. I still support you, man. You for real. Like I just gotta be honest. Just had to be real. Didn't like it as much. All right. Who started on the last one? You? Okay. All right. 2, Nas, King's Disease 3. Feel like this should be over, Jids. I feel like the order is right for these two. Of course it's Nas, so you know it's gonna be good lyricism. Yeah. He's working with who's working with on this one?
Hit Boy.
Yeah. So of course he's gonna have better beat selection. You don't have to worry too much about that. He does sound a tad bit dated on some of the songs. I will give it that. A little bit dated, but overall solid work. I like that he's talking about peace and putting the guns down, and he has some good lyrical parts and stuff like on this album. You know, good beats, good lyricism. It's gotta respect somebody that's you know higher up in the years that can still do it, that still know how to put bars together. That's relevant and and just dope. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody can't do that. You know,
that's true.
I feel like most of them can't do that to that level at that age.
Yeah.
So respect that. I'm not sure if I like it more than like his other ones, like his King Disease 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy this overall. I didn't put any songs, but I do, and I feel like I listened to this and Jid close together, and I feel like that's kind of what pushed me into giving Jid his grade too, because I was like, I'm not even sure this is better than Nas' joint. Nas got some beats that I actually really think is kind of fire, instead of I guess if you want more of the laid back kind of just heavy spitting laid back, but I feel like Nas has, overall had better beats, and they both lyrical, so that kind of cancel out. So I was like, I gave Nas this, and I kind of enjoyed y'all around the same. So it's like, that's kind of how I landed where I landed with Jid. But go ahead.
I did a similar thing in terms of how I graded them, because like you, I listened to Nas right after I listened to Jid. And again, I had heard both albums way before, months ago, when they dropped originally. But just to refresh my memory, I kind of went through them again. And like you, I listened to Nas actually right after listening to Jid. So naturally, I was kind of comparing them two. So that did kind of waver. That did have an impact on what I gave it. I liked it. I like the whole King Disease series. So I like 1 and 2 and 3. Like you, I'm not sure if I say it's the best one. Honestly, I'd have a hard time ranking any of the 3, to be honest. Over each other. I'd have to go back and listen to all 3 of them back to back to really do that. But I like it. I think it's a really good album. I think him linking up, me personally, probably might be an unpopular opinion, but I think him linking up with Hit Boy has been one of the best things for his music, in my opinion. One of my biggest issues with Nas was always his beat selection to me. So hearing him over Hit Boy records, I feel like that. And I think they actually a really good collab. Like everybody can't do that. Like some, especially like I said, older artists or tenured people in the game, just because you link up with a hot producer, don't mean nothing. Or they might try to like cater to what they feel like is already your style. And Hit Boy's not doing that. Right. I feel like Hit Boy's making Nas come like I want to come up to the level like he's above him, but you know what I mean. They're meeting in the middle, which I think is really dope. Like Hit Boy still coming with his typical Hit Boy sound, and Nas is like matching that energy. It's really dope. I think it's a really good album. Similar to what we were already saying earlier about comparing him to Jid, I kind of feel like to me Nas didn't have many like catchy hooks, and the beats are still fire, but I just feel like
I do like I ain't gonna drink burger money, make a sandwich. I forgot about that. Yeah, I gotta admit, I do like that hook. It's not a bad album. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, so I actually did have Nas lower than JID, but I still like I thought it was a really good album. I gave it a B-.
All right, we're gonna let it B-. Because I had them somewhere C+, B- or whatever. I was kind of iffy or whatever way to put it, but yeah, solid project. Yeah. And then wrapping it up with Pusha T is Almost Dry, number 1.
King
you want to kick this off?
I can. It don't matter. I kick it off. I don't, have we talked about this album before? I can't remember.
I will say to give shout out to Nerds Delight again if you want to go
and
get a little bit more in depth, because I wasn't about to do it again. I was gonna say a little bit here and there, but if you want to see it in depth, because we've already talked about this album on Nerds Delight. Go
Nerds Delight podcast.
Pusha T is Almost Dry album review, so you can see in depth.
All on YouTube, Nerds Delight podcast on YouTube. We definitely talk about it in depth, but I'll talk about it briefly. I like this album a lot. I came back again. This is another one of those albums that I heard way before the list. I heard it when it first dropped. Yeah. I came back to it a lot. I was definitely.
I listened to it so many times that I didn't have to go back and revisit. I know what this sounds like. I know what I feel about it.
This is actually the only album on the list I didn't need a refresher for. Right. I did it anyway. But I didn't need to. This is the only album on the list I didn't need a refresher for. I love this album. This is actually my favorite album on the entire list. I came back to it a lot. The production's crazy. Kanye and Pharrell. This album surprised me because I am a Pusha fan, but I feel like his last 3 albums to me just weren't it really to me. I feel like the beat selection was, I don't know, because he's going in that experimental Kanye kind of lane, or I don't know, but I feel like Kanye kind of like, I don't know, because Pharrell was on it too, but I feel like Kanye kind of didn't go as far left as he normally did. Kind of brought it back in. Mm-hmm. I think Pusha being on Pharrell beats again was probably one of the best things probably for this album. I think Clips and Pusha is like they just go together so well.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
I don't know what that ad-lib is, but we kind of going into.
But I just really like this album. I had a few songs I did mention. I'll try to really quick. I'll find it really quick.
Rock and Roll.
Yeah, Rock and Roll. Easily my favorite.
Yeah, that joint goes hard. The joint with with him and his bro.
I was about to say, I think it's Pray For You, I think.
Yeah.
I Pray For You. That was my second favorite, I think. This whole album was...
Open Air is a sleeper joint. Not many people say much about Open Air, but I felt like that beat is so smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of bangers.
He got some joints on there. Yeah. I feel like this is his best project.
I think so too, actually. Yeah.
This is his best project. I got a lot of listens out of it when it first came out. He definitely got a lot of joints on there. I can't front on this. It's good. What you give it?
This is actually my highest grade of the list. I gave it an A, solid A, not an A-, solid A.
I give it B. It can be B+.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at a B+.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. But yeah. So we got through all of it. That don't seem too bad. I'm gonna have to look. See, we need to start using the time. I keep forgetting. It's right over there on the refrigerator. I keep forgetting. Shoot. So what surprised you the most about my grades?
I don't know. I feel like I mentioned it as you were going through them, but the JID, I thought that was gonna be higher. Flo Milli, I was surprised you gave it as high as you did. I thought you were gonna be like, I thought you were gonna treat it the way you treated Lotto and Meg. Like I thought you were gonna say it's trash, but trying to think which other one I'm trying to look at down this list that you kind of surprised me with. I didn't think you was gonna like Stormzy as much as I did, but we both kind of on the same page. Yeah,
I was shocked. I thought you would know that I would like that one.
Yeah, I didn't.
Just for the simple fact that he was, doing, the kind of religious type of thing. I thought you was.
Yeah, but I still thought you were gonna be like. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, he's foreign. I think that's my big surprises from this list for you. Any on my end that you surprised for me?
Some of them girls, I feel like. They got a little higher than they deserve.
Hey, I was surprised too. I walked in thinking, oh, this about to be trash, but I caught my surprise too.
Lotto, you like Lotto more than I thought.
Me too. I walked in thinking this is about to be a D, but I was very.
Did
surprised.
you even give any D's?
I didn't. I didn't.
Man, you was way too nice, man. I gave like 3 D's.
Let me go back and.
Yes. Give something a D. What can get a D?
I want to say Central C off of. But the fact that it was drill. But if I had to pick one,
did you give any A's?
Yeah, I actually had 3 A's. One was Kendrick that we didn't mention. Well, Pusha was the only A. I had Kendrick with an A minus, and I had Stormzy with an A minus.
Yeah, I'm not mad at an A minus for Kendrick. I'm not mad. I don't really remember what I think I gave it a B plus, but I don't remember what I gave it from our episode.
Actually, it would probably be one of these ones I already got at C minus already, so it had to be one of the C minuses. If I had to, so that would probably be one in Billy Woodland, probably a Lucid, because that was probably the most boring album to me.
Yeah, out of the 3. But yeah, like I said, overall, this one wasn't as bad. I didn't give out any Fs. I gave 1 F last year.
I don't think I did, but I think I did get a D last year. I might have given out 2 Ds last year. Cause I can think of 2 albums specifically in my head right now that I did not like.
You do not like giving bad grades, man.
Hey, I gave them Ds.
Who you gave D to somebody?
Pause.
Who you gave
Pause.
D to?
Pause. Pause.
What album?
Pause. What regular album? I can say the album. I already know what album. The albums that they were. I already know offhand. That I just thought was not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I said it's at the end of the day, it's fun doing these episodes. It's a lot of work to go through all this music, and
but it's worth it. Anyway.
We're gonna try to keep it going. We're
Yeah.
gonna try to keep it going. We're gonna do 2023 next year. Oh, if y'all like it, subscribe, hit that thumbs up and all that stuff, and we're gonna keep it going. This was Chillin' with Ones. I'm your host, J Ones, of course, with
Crump Casso.
And always keep God first, cause that's what we do around here, baby. Peace.